Am I talking in a t-shirt from Hardee's when I used to work back in high school? Absolutely. I do not care to be honest, tell you the truth. I ain't gonna lie to you. Probably should have returned this joint like afterwards, but shoot, I just haven't done it. I don't really care, bro. I really don't. Shoot, I might still got the apron now. I might have threw the apron out. I don't even know. Anyway, let's get straight to it, man. Hey man, what's up with y'all boys? You up next here? Back here with another video, and today I just wanted to talk about a topic that was on my head, and that is life is unfair. As simple as it is, I'ma just break it down how I'm thinking about it in my head, and just breaking it down. But yeah. Uh, See more content. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, comment, leave a comment down under the description. Uh, Let me know your thoughts on the topic today. But yeah, let's go ahead and get straight to it. Understanding that life isn't fair. It's I ain't gonna say it's like making it a whole bunch. It's not. I ain't gonna say it's making it like super duper easier to like deal with life, but it's like helping me to understand things a little bit better, I guess, in a way. Because I feel like growing up, especially for me, it's like I was used to things being put in a certain way. Everything, life, you go to school, you go like K through 12, you graduate, get your diploma, you either go to college or you work. You go after college, you start a job. After you start that job, you go up in the business, get higher positions and stuff like that. You get a family, things like that. You have kids, you get married, all that stuff like that. But sometimes life don't work like that. Like, it's not step by step. It's not 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Sometimes it's 1 step 7 5 3. It's all over the place. But you can still get to the same place. It's just you just all over the place. And for me, that was kind of hard for me to kind of understand, because it's like I was expecting things to be set in place or things to be a certain way when I got older, like after high school. But now it's like nobody got it together for real. Like nobody got it together. I'll be honest about myself. I don't got it together. I'm still figuring stuff out. I'm not in the places that I want to be necessarily. Like, I want to have my own place. I'm 20. Like, a lot of people don't want to live with their parents, but for me, it makes sense for me to stay with my parents right now, so I can save up, and I can still help around the house and things like that. But I can still, it's helping me to get to where I want to be at. Like I said, it's not fair that life is how it is with the market, the economy, how things are right now. It's not fair, but for me, it's like I'm choosing I'm kind of choosing my own path, what works for me, instead of just throwing my hands up in the air and blaming the market, blaming the government, blaming this, blaming that. What can I actually do to take control of the situation? I feel like that's the biggest thing, because now it's like I'm starting to see a lot of people, especially in my generation, I'll say age group between like 18, basically Gen Z, but we gonna say like 18 to like 25, basically somewhere around there. A lot of people kind of like just YOLO in this thing. Like they don't care like about their future. They just doing things impulsively and things like that. But I mean, in the short term, I guess it's cool. Like it's cool in the moment, but like it's gonna be on some stuff like later on down the road, 10 years down the line, you gonna be wishing you would have set yourself up in the future. I don't necessarily agree with the whole YOLO kind of thing, doing things impulsively, going on expensive trips that I can't afford, doing things that I basically can't afford, or just anything that I want just because I only live once. and the government and the future is looking dark. The future ain't looking bright, so I might as well just enjoy life now, because who knows when I'm gonna pass. Like, I don't like that mindset. I don't agree with that mindset. Especially if you want like a family or stuff like that. I feel like that's kind of selfish in a way. Here's why I say that. If you want a family and you're living life like that off of impulses and living reckless, that's not fair to your kids if you have your kids, because you got to be able to take care of your family. If you want a wife or you want a husband or stuff like that, you got to work together with them. You can't just do stuff out of feeling, off of a whim and things like that. That's not how life works, in my opinion. That's not how life works. You got to work together on some stuff. It can't just be just about you all the time, especially if your goal in life is to have a family. If you want to be single and you don't care about all that for the rest of your life, hey, do you? That's your life. But I'm just saying, if you want stuff in the future, you kind of need to like keep that in mind. You can't just be doing whatever. You can't just be going off a whim, off of a feeling, off an emotion, because that's going to affect you down the line. And my mom and my stepdad, a lot of people in my life kind of like poured into me and basically kind of saying stuff like that, but they coming from a place of like their own mistakes. Like, they made that mistake of doing things in a moment, doing things right then and now, but then later on down the line they might have regretted that or stuff like that. That's all I'm saying. Like, with the whole YOLO kind of deal, is just be mindful that your actions have consequences, whether your consequences are good or bad, because consequences don't necessarily mean that it's something bad. It's just understand your actions have a consequence, and you have to deal with that. You made your bed, now you gotta lie in it. Like, you made your decision, you have to deal with that decision. So just keep that in mind. Don't be too influenced with how culture is today and how social media and how some people, and I'm not saying everybody, or not even necessarily everybody in my generation is like that. It's just be mindful and don't fall into peer pressure, or don't fall into that if you don't want to. Make your own decision, make up your own mind what you want to do, what are your goals, and make it possible to like go after what you want. Don't let the media, don't let the world influence you. Don't let your parents influence you. Don't let your friends influence you. Make that decision for yourself, what you want, and work toward that realistically. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's another thing. You can't blame nobody for what happened. You can't blame nobody for what happens to your life down the line. Like, at the end of the day, you cannot blame anybody for how your life turned out. That's one thing I had to learn, and my stepdad was like really hard on me about. You can't blame or point the finger. He did this, but she did this. She broke up with me. She did this to me. He took all my. He did this. He did that. You can't do none of that, because at the end of the day, especially when you turn 18, you are an adult. You're legally an adult, and you can legally make your own decisions, your own choices legally. So you can't just be pointing a finger at people, because nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care like that, for real, like that. As sad as that is and how and unfair that is, it's the truth. Like, nobody's gonna care. So that's why I was saying, you gotta look out for yourself, man. You gotta take that into consideration. That's why, like I said, I don't agree with the whole YOLO. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna live my best life, even though I can't afford to do something like this. Or, I don't agree with that. Don't do that, man. In my opinion, don't do that. Like, it's not going to help you out in the future, especially if you can't afford that lifestyle. I've had people in my life to tell me stuff, so now it's like I try to use YouTube as a way to like pour back into people that might be younger than me or whatever, because these things that I have to learn, and it doesn't make life easier, I would say, like knowing it, but you're able to like maneuver through life a little better. Then you get out of school, you get out of college. Let's say you in college, you're about to graduate. You get out in college, you get out into the real world, and you gotta find out all this stuff all at once. You gotta find out. It's hard to get a job nowadays out of school without any experience. I might got a degree, but I just found out that jobs prioritize experience more than degrees or education. That's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to figure out, you gotta pay taxes on pretty much everything, bills, rent, all this other stuff, how you gonna live, all that, and that stuff could come at you hard. Like if you don't know this stuff, it's gonna come at you hard. And that's why I try not to be judgmental when life happens, because like I'm starting to just realize now that like sometimes life happens and that changes people, sometimes for the better, but most times I would say for the worst, because stuff like that just hit them in the face. It might have been a death in the family that might have changed somebody's life, or just life happening, and that's how you get people forming bad habits, such as going to alcohol, going to sex, going to all these different terrible outlets to feel that pain or hardships and things like that. Because life is hard, and life, back to what I was saying with the title, life is not fair. It's not fair that things are the way they are. It's not fair. But even though it's not fair, you can't just sit there and let life happen. Like you can't just put your hands up in the air and just give up. Some people do, but you're gonna be miserable doing that. You gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not gonna get any easier the older you get. That's one thing. My parents on me about that, man. Like it's not gonna get easier the older you get. It's going to get more hard and more difficult, especially with the more responsibilities you get with a job. You get a higher position with your family, with kids, with a marriage, with anything. It's just a whole lot that comes with that thing, man. And like I said, with the other point, you cannot point the finger on how life happens and the consequences that come because of the actions you pick. And I'm saying all this because I said I'm still learning this stuff, but and even though I'm still learning this stuff, I still struggle with like accepting that life is not fair. I hate that life ain't fair. That's why I'm making this video. I hate that life ain't fair. I hate that things don't always go smooth. I hate that. Like I can't control that. I hate that I can't control this, or I can't control that situation. Things just don't work like that. That's just not how life works, and I gotta be fine with that. Like I hate that, me personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, but I hate that. Seriously. But because I understand that life ain't fair, it makes it a little bit. I understand it a little bit easier. Like I mean, a little bit more. That things are gonna happen. Sometimes things just go left. Sometimes things take a turn. But that's expected. I can't expect life to be perfect. Nothing that's gonna happen to me, nothing bad is gonna happen to me, because it's gonna happen. Like I could try to avoid it all I want, because that's me. I'm the type of person, like I would be trying to be a step ahead. I would be trying to be a step ahead of problems that could come up. So I might ask people all these questions and stuff like that, try to avoid what can happen, what's to come. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to avoid the hit. You know how like in boxing, you gotta learn how to take a hit, or in football, you gotta learn how to take a hit. Me, I was the type of person I would try to avoid getting hit. I'll be trying to avoid it, cause bro, nobody want to go through that pain. Like nobody want to go through that at all. Come on now, you know what I'm saying? Like so, now I'm just understand like you gotta take that hit. You're gonna have to take that hit. You're gonna have to learn how to get hit, how to get punched. But it's not really about the punch that you should be focused on. I feel like it's about how you get back up and how you keep going. I feel like that's the hardest part, is getting back up and keep going. That's where people get stuck. That's where people get stuck at, because of how hard life can be. But like I said, it's really about how you get back up and keep going. I hope this video helped somebody, especially with their mindset or how they think about life. Really kind of targeting this toward like people who's younger, like you in high school or something like that, or maybe, I don't know, somebody in college or something like that. Even though I'm in college myself, but I hope this video helped, because life is hard, gang. Like, it's hard. Like, everybody gets handed a different car. Nobody has the same car. Like, some people get put in better situations than others, but life is hard for everybody. Everybody is guaranteed the same fate, which is death. Like, it's gonna be hard regardless. But how you go about it and how you think about life, it matters too. That's what's gonna help you get there. And having, I don't really want to get too spiritual, but honestly, having a higher power such as God or the right people around you can help things easier. It helps you push through life, because like I said, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a struggle for everybody, but how you go through it, I feel like that's what separates people from giving up versus those who keep going. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like, share the video, and leave a comment down in the below the description in the comment section on your thoughts about the topic. But other than that, man, I hope y'all guys have a great day. See y'all next. Peace out.